Good morning, my people. Baby names are a big deal. To me, baby names are a big deal. Anybody who's ever had to think of the name that you're going to give another human being, it's a big thing. I take it really seriously. I think it's one of the privileges of adulthood and marriage. It's a treasure. So probably everybody knows we had a baby 2 weeks ago today, little girl. And it was a difficult labor for my wife. The baby had her hand up. We didn't know. Sometimes they can have it maybe all the way up or something, but I think it was just up here. Anyway, it made the progress difficult. Made the progress painful for Florence, and she knew something was different, and we were concerned at different points. We have a friend. Everybody probably knows Arava, and she was helping us with questions, and then at the last of it, Florence was just concerned and said, I think I need to go to the hospital. And I just wanted to, if that's what needed to happen, I wanted to do that, but I was kind of wanting to make sure. So I called Arava, and Arava asked some questions and said, oh, no, you don't want to go to a hospital. At this point, they're not going to give you pain relief anyway. And at this point, you're going to have the baby in the car on the way. It's time, you're ready. And so she talked us through it. And in my mind, she kind of talked Florence out of going to the hospital, which is real precious to me. And it was just, it's happened to me before. We've got a midwife. We had a midwife in Oregon named Marcine. She helped deliver Esperanza and Compa. And then after that, Florence has had all her babies unassisted, but Marcine would do prenatal checkups and postnatal checkups, and she answers questions. She's always just been a big help, and I just love her. Like it's really strange to me, the love that I feel for this woman. She's not a saint. She's a good woman, but she's not a believer. She's not in the faith. I don't even know if she believes in God. But there's this I don't know if other men can relate, but just like this traumatic thing that happens when your wife is in labor, and then the thing that when this woman assists with that, it's just like she's like such a a champion, a hero. Just her help is just priceless. It's such a precious thing, and I found myself just like, where this stressful thing, and she's got all the answers, and she's got all the help. And then the baby comes, and there's all this joy, and then you look at that woman, and you're like, I love you, thank you. And I love Marcine. Anyway, we've been friends with Arava for several years now, and I love her as a sister, but this thing happened, and I just like, I love her so much. Yasin, if you ever see this, I love your wife. She was such a blessing to my home. Anyway, so I really wanted to honor Arava, and the baby's name. I wanted Arava to be some part of her name. And Florence liked that as well. And so, but she didn't want it to be the first name, and I didn't particularly want it to be the first name. Oh, Arava is when people not always. But very commonly, when people join the road ministry, they take a new name, and it's often a Hebrew name, which is fine. There is a guy in the road ministry named Rick, which is not Hebrew. That's his name, and he just kept it. There'd be a lot of pressure, I think, in that group to like get you a nice new Hebrew name, but he just stayed Rick, and to me that's just precious. Anyway, Arava took her name is Willow. That's what her mother named her, and Arava is willow in Hebrew, and so she changed her name, but still honored her mama, which I think is very commendable. So and I like willow trees. Probably everybody does, but I like willow trees a lot. I think they're beautiful, and so I was like, okay, arava means willow. But I started studying this word arava, and I found out that the root of it is the root of the word arava means to weave or to braid. It's in the scriptures. In the scriptures, it's used to for mingle, but but it's very, very commonly used, like it says, to be surety for somebody or to make a pledge, or it's even used like to mean mortgage. Like it means to be, like when you get in this financial deal with somebody, like you're bound up. When you're in debt to somebody, you're bound up with them. So the root of it is this binding, and then that principle is kind of used in different applications. So the willow tree, when they say, oh, the arava tree, they would use the branches to weave. So they're basically, oh, the weave tree is what they're saying. And there's a couple of principles that are really precious to me. A couple of like children's songs principles that are really precious to me. One of them is, oh, love is the flag flown high from the castle of my heart. It's childish poetry. Maybe I'm just a childish poet, but that's just precious to me. Like one time I got the meaning of his banner over me is love. Like he conquered me. When you conquer something, you put your banner, and he conquered me. What did he conquer me with? His strength, his force? No, he loved. His love conquered me. He put his flag of love, and that's the flag of I've been conquered. Who rules you? Do you rule yourself? No, I have a king. I got conquered. What do you conquer? How do you do that? How do you get you? With a big army? No, just love. He got me with love. Anyway, that's a song I appreciate. And then the other one's one we just sang. I don't see Tyler. There he is. Didn't recognize you. Bind us together with cords of love. Again, just really simple, childish poetry that really means a lot to me. The idea that we're bound together with love. And there it was, that principle, binding. The arava is to bind. I was like, oh, bind. I wanted to somehow say bind with love. I called a couple guys that know Hebrew and said, how would you say in Hebrew, like, arava, us together with love, or bind me with love? And that didn't quite work out. But another thing that meant a lot to me during this pregnancy, I talked about it one time. Oh, the song Day by Day. People would always request it. I knew people that really liked it, and I just never really got it. I must not have been paying attention to the words or something. And then somehow this past season, it got me, and I was like, oh man, it's just precious principles. This song is so precious. And I think on the YouTube it says the title is Faith's Sweet Consolation. Like it's just this whole principle of trusting God, staying in your place, being faithful, and trusting or knowing there's a consolation for the faithful, and being faithful is hard, but there's a consolation, and it's precious. And so one of my first ideas for a baby name was Arava, Faith's Sweet Consolation. I really liked that one. But Florence had other ideas, and I mean, we went back and forth trying to find something that we would both be happy with. I suggested that one, and then Florence liked the consolation. That really grabbed her. She's like, "Oh, consolation," because she had her own reasons, and so I was glad we got the consolation part in there. But she wanted the initials PC so that the baby would match, what's her name? Patient what? Continuance? So she would match patient continuance with PC. And she liked pleasant, consolation, and I couldn't. To me, pleasant just sort of seemed like, pleasant, it's not great, but it's okay, pleasant. That's just how I always thought of it anyway. But so I looked up pleasant and was trying to like what Florence liked, so we could be on the same page. And the definition is it's like delightful, it's what you'd think, just it's not just like, it's slightly sweet, but no, pleasant is like really nice, plenty nice. But a way that the King James uses it, King James translators use the word pleasant oftentimes is like, I think it talks about like the fruit in the garden, that it was pleasant. And the root word means like to be coveted, to be like, oh man, I'd really like to have some of that fruit. And then there's different times that it says that a man thought a woman was pleasant to look upon, like he wanted to have her, as his wife, I guess. So it really means this thing that you really want a lot. It's in King James translated that way, and I thought, oh, that's kind of more along the lines of what I was thinking for this consolation that I like. It's like you really want this consolation that comes from God. You want it. You don't want to stop being faithful and lose out on that. You want to stick to your faith, the difficulties. You want the consolation. It's like the fruit in the garden to be desired. and then try to think. There was a lot. I probably won't remember everything, but so pleasant consolation, and then arava, the binding or the weaving or the mingling. I really like that. And then arava, faith, charity, grace. Patient said, "Can we name her Charity?" And that was kind of precious to me. So I was trying to work that in. And I did want to. I had initially wanted to bind us together with cords of love, with like that song. I somehow wanted to figure that out, and so that Charity's never. I'm sorry if your name's Charity. I don't think anybody has named Charity. I just knew a couple people in my life named Charity, and before I even knew that it was a word, I just thought it when I was young, and it was just a name. Anyway, but it's beautiful. Obviously, it's a it's a very Christian word. Charity, faith, charity, grace, and so it's this thing. I was just thinking about it today, but I think about it all the time. Like there's God wants us to be strict, and God wants us to be lenient. Like how do we deal with people? Like how do we stand? Do I stand up for what's right and make a scene, or do I graciously give somebody some advice? I think this is the biggest part of the faith is figuring out how to be strict and lenient in every situation. Or I say lenient, gracious. We have to be strict and stick to things and stand up for things, but we don't have to be stuck up about it, snobby about it, rude about it. You can graciously tell. It's difficult, and it's typically not the first thing that comes to mind, but you can graciously tell somebody, if you put forth a little effort, you can graciously tell somebody that they're doing something wrong, or that you can't do something because it's wrong, or like that. But probably there's times that you do need to forcefully, strongly say something. And I can't give you the formula here this morning for when to do those two things. But faith. So the principle was that faith and to weave. Arava means she weaves or she wove. But the idea would be she weaves charity, faith, charity, and grace, like graciously, lovingly being faithful. The faith graciously and lovingly. And that is the story of my new baby's name. And we almost put glory and grace in there too, because Florence liked those things, and I was just like, at this point, like, it's already 6 names. Why not 7 or 8? 7 if you count the last name. It's our last baby. It's our last chance to name a human being. Like, just throw some more in there. Like, last chance I'm going to get. Oh, God knows, but I said it's likely. Probably. She declares that she's done having babies, but I think she said that a couple times before too. I think it's a thing. It's a thing to think. right after the, what's it called? I can't think of that word. What's it called, Dwayne? The difficulty of labor, not tribulation. Travail, yeah. I think that's the word I was thinking of. I think that's probably travail. Well, God bless you. Good morning. Okay, I remembered something else. Okay, pleasant in Hebrew, or the Hebrew word for pleasant is Naomi, which is just a beautiful name. Who doesn't like that name? Just rolls Naomi. It just sounds, even if you know, whatever it means, it's so pretty, Naomi. And obviously, I say obviously, everybody loves the story of Ruth, right? What a precious story. So I was really glad when I heard that. Another theme or thing that's been on my mind during this pregnancy is that line from Ruth. That line from the book of Ruth that when Ruth tells Naomi, "Whither thou goest, I will go. Thy people will be my people, and thy God shall be my God." If you did, I think I've told you guys before. I had this when I got married. I had this long cloth, and I wrote on there in fancy lettering that line, "Where thou goest, I will go. Thy people shall be my people. Thy God shall be my God." And then the person who officiated our wedding at the end took our hands and put them together and quoted that verse as he bound our hands. And I've had some difficulties in my marriage in the past couple of years, and one idea that I had. And I think I've told you guys too. I made a cup. I found this. I wanted like a cup, with like a stem, like an old-fashioned looking goblet, and I couldn't find anything like that. But I found a glass one, and it was all like cut pretty, and I didn't like the way it looked, and so I bought this. I bought some kind of clay, some kind of compound, and filled in all the holes, and it then ended up looking like this clay. I covered the glass with clay, and it was this clay goblet, but the inside was glass. And that's it. I crushed grapes and I drank from the cup, and then gave a little speech about the cup, drinking the Lord's cup, and told Florence that I had chosen to drink the Lord's cup, would she drink of it with me? And I offered it to her, and she said she would, and she did. And then afterwards, I gave the cup to Florence's mom, and I gave the ribbon thing to my mom. And then here recently, I thought, maybe I could get those back from me and Florence's mom, and then I put them on, put it up on the what do you call the fireplace? The hearth. Put the cup up there and the ribbon, the mantle. Thanks, yeah. Put it up there, and that could be like the centerpiece of the home and a reminder to us. And I think I asked her mom if she still had the cup, and she was disinterested. She said she did, and I kind of told her my idea. I felt a little bad asking for it back, but I told her my idea, and then she didn't respond. So she didn't seem like she wanted it, which is great if she esteems it that highly. And then my mom didn't know where. She couldn't remember that thing or whatever. So I had the thought recently that I'd make another one and just put it up there for the home. Anyway, that had been on my heart, so it was also like just tied in with the name thing. Like I was like, oh, Naomi, like this thing that I've been thinking of, and it's the binding, and just all kind of goes together. And somebody shared with me this song a long time ago. It's real pretty. Naomi, don't make me leave you. Let me go along with you. Where you go, we shall go together. Your people and your God will be mine too. Just somebody, they had a record. It was Noah and the Wits, and they had a little 45 record. And one time I got a record player. I was into records, I guess, and Noah said, "Oh, you got a record player? I got this record." And he brought it over. It's all crackly. And it's just this beautiful little melody, and there's this nice song about the story of Ruth and Naomi. Anyway, I called him and I was like, hey, do you still have that old record? And he, man, just like the same day, he found the record, made a recording. I was like, I can't understand all the words. And he wrote out all the words. He's a busy guy. He's got like a successful business and stuff. And he just like did this thing for me. It was really, really precious. And then with one of the last lyrics says, talking about Ruth and Boaz, that their good qualities would blend together in harmony. And I was like, oh, there it is again. I mostly wanted to share the Naomi part.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him above, ye heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Amen. Teach me, O Lord, to number my days. Teach me to number my days, that I may apply unto wisdom my heart, that I may apply my heart. I am but a man, my years are but a day. Short will be my stand, and brief will be my stay, and I will not again their vessel along this way. Teach me, O Lord, to number my days. Oh, teach me to number my days. Teach me, O Lord, to number my days. Teach me to number my days. And let me be wholly devoted to Thee, to daily increase Thy praise. Life is like the sand, soon trickle through the blast. Flowers we appear, to perish as the grass. 1,000 years with Thee, as yesterday is past. Teach me, O Lord, to number my days. Oh, teach me to number my days. Teach me, O Lord, to number my days. Teach me to number my days, and satisfy early my deep yearning heart, that I may rejoice always. 60 years and 10 are all our lives may hold. Fleeting years we spend, a tale so quickly told, and judgment greets us then. Our Maker we behold. Teach me, O Lord, to number my days. Oh, teach me to number my days. The angel of the Lord camps around